Well, hello, you there, sitting there in your comfy little chair, lean back, ready for a fantastic Monday night with the rest of us at GGK, which stands for GGameKnights. I am Ryan. These are other people, and we're here to completely celebrate Monday and to play some Durnder. And gosh, it's just real good to see you. Where I'd like to start first, I'd like to talk about a couple cool things going on this channel. Number one is last week on Thursday, we started a brand new campaign called Today Fala, which are Tidefall, which is run by your very own Lindsay, who I believe is down here, unless I'm mirrored. And if I'm mirrored, then it's over here. But
they're both wrong. She's right below you.
She's right below me? Oh, I'm the worst. Okay, yeah, she's right. Okay. There she is. She's run that game, and it's real fun so already. I'll just right out the gate. So that will be coming back. It's on a bi-weekly schedule, but the most soon thing coming up is this coming Saturday. We have a return to Survivors Complex, coming back with a vengeance. We had last week we had a one-shot run by Morgan playing The Weave, which is a ton of fun. But we're all hyped to get back to Survivors Complex. And then next week on this Monday, next week, we're going to have the next session of Apocrypha, where a bunch of people are wandering around infected with rabies and just worried about, just general cults, like
classic tabletop.
Yeah, classic table, just like rabies and cults. So if you want to see how that turns out, definitely check back in next week and see how the next session of Apocrypha goes. I believe that's all we have got going on at the moment. I'm sure that we're going to be, we just wrapped up a bunch of giveaways recently. I'm sure we're going to start up some new ones very soon. So just keep an eye out on our Twitters, YouTubes, and all that stuff for that. So, but since we're all here, I mean, might as well, we can go ahead and start this game, which is fun. So we rolled beforehand to see who would recap last session. And the drum roll is a thing that people do, a sound, before we reveal that it was... Oh, hey, thank you. Vincent, who will recap what happened last time, just to completely switch things up.
Yep. So yeah, we thought maybe someone else would do it, and then we all rolled for it, and the dice determined I'm still doing the recap, so at least for this session. So... when we started off last session, we were heading towards the temple, and there were some giant lasers coming at our heckin' faces. We took a few hits. The vehicles got a little messed up, but we took out the turrets, got into the temple. It was nice and creepy in there, as all abandoned temples are. There was the sound of some singing coming from later on. Let's see. Pace started to fly, and then a horn grew out of her forehead, but that turned out to be a dagger that we collected. When we continued down, there was some conversation about, wait, these people maybe work for Ocelot. Are we really going to save them? But at this point, there was creepy singing. It's like, well, we got to go check that out at the very least. And when we got there, there was this really tall woman dancing around in a giant pool of blood. And there were people in a circle hanging from chains, and there were like dead gold warforged holding up all the people, and it was very ritualistic setup, one might say. But we showed up and got all up in her face, and she was not happy about that. Go rewatch that whole combat. There was a lot of heckin' exciting things going on. I'm not going to go step by step through combat, even though I started taking notes on that. But eventually we beat her, killed her dead, or re-dead, as it perhaps turned out. We saved all the people, I think. Yeah, we saved all of them. She cut one of their throats, but we managed to save him. We rescued them, took them back onto the ship, took all the loot, got the heck out of Dodge, and started heading back towards the way station that we came from to take these guys back to their buddy, get some pay, and see what we were doing from there. I think that's about it.
That sounds good to me. Does anyone have anything to add? Okay, well, then let's go back just a little while. Right now, let's see, I think we ended last session in the early morning of the 8th day of the 3rd month, but let's go back the night before. Just a scooch. Let's see, what's a good thing to play? Maybe not this. That's might be a little intense. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, let's start. Gosh, I have so many options here. But I'm gonna start with Vincent. Tell me about what you're doing that night.
So after we got, all our definitely not prisoners squared away, because, that's another thing. We put them in the cargo hold, and they're definitely not prisoners, but they also don't have free roam of the ship.
Yeah, so are they restrained?
I don't think so, but they are sort of confined to the cargo hold, I think is
So
what
just
we
like,
settled on.
so the door from the cargo hold to the hallway that leads to the rest of the ship is locked?
And I'm pretty sure I'm living there because I think Rosh is in my room because Gwen is in Rosh's room.
Okay, geez, I gotta write this down. Okay, hold on a second. All right, so they're in the cargo hold, including Pace. That's what the book is too, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm keeping an eye on all of the things that I don't like.
Okay, cool. So in Pace's room is Rosh?
Yes, because I was staying in the med bay, but now the body is in the med bay.
In Rosh's room is
Me.
a body?
No, no,
he's-
no. Eleanor is in Rosh's
No.
room.
I
thought
what is happening?
I thought we left Eleanor in my room.
No,
and
I thought
was in
Eleanor
the
was in
other
the
way.
solarium,
Eleanor's in the solarium,
Oh,
which is my
so
room.
I'm just
which
in
is
my
your
room.
room.
Yeah,
So Eleanor's in the. She's God in heaven. Okay.
because there were pillows in there. And
Yeah.
That's like it hurt herself.
That's
So-
right.
So
remember this.
Gwen, are you in your own room?
I'm in my own room. I'm sorry
is-
I made everything more complicated.
So Gwen is in her own room, which is a ransacked mess
I fixed
currently.
most of it.
Did you though?
I
Did you fix
fixed-
most
I
of
fixed
it?
some of it. I fixed the bed.
Just because
Okay,
you
that-
fixed it doesn't mean everything got put back where it was
All right.
supposed
All right.
to
The
be.
bed is fixed. The bed is fixed. We'll allow that. The bed is fixed. And then, as far as I'm aware, is anyone in? Okay, so everyone's accounted for it. Okay. All right, and the med bay, which is not Rosh's room, but the room that used to be yours before you moved to the solarium. So Rosh's old room. Oh, God.
Wait,
I
I thought your
thought the
room
medbay was Kristallum's old
It
room.
is. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
His room has always been
you're
a
right,
solarium.
You're right.
but the med bay was where I was staying once Eleanor started staying in the solarium, and now I'm ousted from there because the body isn't there.
So thank you so much, Twitch audience, for doing this riveting conversation of basically like the first 3 minutes of every real world. I can't say that word. Real world.
This is
This
Space
is-
who's on first.
The
Is it- I know.
Brady Bunch.
Are you going to be in this room? Oh, let's room together. Is real world still a thing? I haven't checked in like probably 12 years.
Is the real world still a thing?
The MTV
TV show?
reality show.
There's a
a
show called Real World?
there's a channel called MTV where there used to be music.
Huh.
Anyway, okay, all right. I kind of know where things are happening now. Okay, so sorry, back to Vincent, who is in his own room.
So after getting all the not prisoners squared away and getting the ship's course set back to the way station, Vincent returns to his room, locks the door, and attunes to the dagger that popped out of Pace's head.
Okay.
I still love that happened.
I do not.
Better that than it
And-
coming out of your throat and being all
Well-
like that.
As you attune, you have several flashes of memories that are not your own. Strange alien creatures wearing strange alien clothing in strange alien environments. It's almost as if your memories that you're seeing through are from a perspective that it takes you a while to kind of reorient yourself, but you see hands holding this dagger plunging into others. You sense fear, you sense aggression, but in a strange way, as you are mainly bearing witness to all of these things, none of these memories seem to have any sound to them. They all play silently before you. And over time, the dagger seems to... It doesn't emit any light, but you sense a kind of a figurative glow from it. And you hear a voice. Who are you?
Ah, heck, another voice. Well, I'm Vincent. What's your name?
I am Whisper.
Well, Whisper, pleased to make your acquaintance. Anything else you want to know about me at this moment, or are we sticking with names right now? Keeping it casual.
Where am I?
You are on a ship headed through Wildspace, heading back towards... Where is the way station's name? Yuval. Heading back towards Yuval way station. You came from planet Gergen, popped out of one of my buddy's heads. Don't know how you did that.
I do not recognize what you are.
Well, I didn't recognize those things you were showing me, and whatever those were, memories, I guess. So I guess you're a stranger in a strange land, and, you know, if I had popped out of one of your buddies' heads and was over there, I'd probably be just as strange and confused as well.
I imagine so. Why am I here?
Heck if I know. Maybe something out there has some greater plans for you. Maybe something just thought it would be fun to throw you into all the tomfoolery we got going on. You have no idea. You are not even the strangest thing that has happened to us in the past few days.
It's true.
And I think you sense a bit of hesitation. And after what seems like a long pause, the voice continues. Now that I am in your hands, what do you intend to do with me?
Well, that is a good question, isn't it? Because most of the time I'm not really getting up in people's faces and stabbing them with it, but if I'm gathering right from all those memories you showed me, you make things kind of silent around you, which certainly could come in handy. So we'll have to see. But I imagine if we get into any trouble, which again tends to happen a lot around us, you may come in. I may put you to some use if that's all right with you, of course. I imagine you'd much rather be used than sitting pretty on a shelf somewhere.
If it is for a purpose.
I mean, certainly some kind of purpose, at the very least. Gosh dang, I'm just thinking how many. Let's see, I've got obviously my own internal monologue. I've got Sandy. I've got that other voice that told me about the rest of the crew, and now I've got you. It's getting real crowded up in here.
I smell magic on you.
I mean, yeah, magic tends to happen around me. I kind of assumed you were magic happening around me.
And there's a long pause, unless you talk.
Before that, with the voice, has it been sounding like I'm hearing it in my ears or in my head?
Gosh, that's another existential question, isn't it? I mean, yes.
Okay. Well, I'll just have to wait.
I think. Oh, okay. So let me give you actually a real answer. I think you can tell that it's telepathic.
Gotcha. Okay. So I think after that, I'd probably be, or if it says it smells mad or senses or whatever it was magic on me. Well, I mean, what kind of magic? I know some of the magic that's on me, but I also know there's other magic, like magic that's messing with my memories. Don't suppose you know what that's about?
Your scent is peculiar. Your memories have been changed.
Yep, so I've been told.
So you are a victim of magic.
I mean, yes, but I mean, in that aspect, most of the rest of the stuff, it took me years of, well, not quite therapy, but years to get over feeling like a victim for all the other wild magic stuff that happens around me.
I can help you fight back against magic.
How so?
It is my purpose.
Well, as long as you don't mess with the magic I'm trying to do, I think that will do just fine.
We shall see. I will be watching and listening.
Sounds good, man. I'm gonna get some shut-eye. Gotta get up and talk to a creepy dead blood witch thing in the morning.
A blood witch.
Yep, it's what we fought right after you showed up. I don't know if you were able to see or hear any of that, but I'm guessing not, since I hadn't attuned to you yet.
If you need my help to silence her, I will help.
I'll keep that in mind, Whisper. Okay, good night.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to do?
No, I think that's it for tonight.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone wanted to do tonight?
Is tonight? This is the night before we get to U of All Station.
This is going to be roughly 5 days before that. But so like this is so after you're packed up everything, that was like it was like the night, and then you kind of you kind of did work through the night. So this is kind of like happening in the middle of the night. You've taken off from Gergen, but you've just begun your journey.
Okay. I'm gonna go check on Gwen to make sure that she is okay. Assuming this is after the point where I remembered to Lesser Restoration her.
Okay.
If not, maybe this is the moments after I've cast that on her.
Or you mean remove curse?
Remove curse, that's what I meant.
Okay, so this will be a little bit before then.
Okay.
I'm giving anyone a chance to do something, and if no one does anything, then we can move to that.
Okay, then yeah, I'll wait for that then.
Okay.
Sort of giving our mandatory guests some space in the cargo hold. Setting up my hammock in the corner where I have a good view of them and the book. Cleaning out the animal stalls and enclosures. Just,
It's a busy night.
Yep. Occasionally just like glaring at them from across the room.
Okay. What accommodations have you set up for these people?
Nothing.
So nothing.
No, I don't have any. Like, Pace doesn't have anything.
So the cold metal cargo bay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Unless maybe I have some, like, animal blankets. But why would I have that? Because the temperature is controlled inside of a spaceship. Yeah, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
There are a lot of pillows and stuff in the solarium. You can at least grab those out.
Yeah.
Someone would have to tell Pace to do this.
I would grab them for you and throw them in there with you.
Okay. Just throw them like a ration into the room and close the door?
Yeah.
Okay, great. They have pillows from the solarium. That's all I'm doing.
Okay. Also, I think I mentioned it last time, but if I didn't, the Whisper is an item that was gifted by Joseph, who did a double gift, and we rolled it into one item, just so you all know. So Whisper's not messing around.
Thank you for the extra voices, Joseph. I got 4 of them now.
Just wanted to call that out because I can't remember what I said last time. Okay. Let's see. Gwen, you're not feeling that great tonight. Are you gonna try to get some sleepy sleeps?
I'm gonna try, but probably not super successful.
Okay. Bolster, what are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I think who had the crystals? Was that Rosh? The crystals that the queen had.
I think that might be Vincent.
Yeah,
Vincent
I don't
had
think
them?
I mentioned taking them, and then we decided not to do that, so I don't have them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking back through my notes to see if I have where they ended up.
I think someone took them. Or, I mean, you have her.
Someone took them.
You have her, so they're on her body if no one has them in their personal inventory.
Reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of almost.
So it sounds like nobody has them on them, so you might have to check out the body, Bolster.
Cool. Yeah, I think Bolster. I like this image of like Bolster, like opening the door of. Where did we put her? We put her in
Crystallim's room. We've discussed this at length.
Oh, okay, yeah. Crystallim's room. We so like he opens the door and he's like terrified. There's like just this dead thing in this room that nearly killed everyone. And he's like lightly, he's not in Samathes or anything. He just walks into the room and his fur is like standing on end, and he like walks up and she's wearing it like a necklace. Was that the thing, or like a headdress?
She's wearing both, but there's like she's wearing this thing that goes around her shoulders, and then like above that she's wearing like this necklace that's kind of like bound by a simple gold chain.
So yeah, I think Bolster like climbs up like and reaches and grasps it and busts the chain and runs out of the room and shuts the door.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a strength check.
Okay.
It's not a high DC because it's a very thin chain, but I want to see if you like make this embarrassing.
Oh, it's gonna be embarrassing.
Okay.
That's a 9.
Okay, so you like pull the chain, it's like, and her neck kind of bends forward, and like when you lift her off the table a little bit, you're like, and she comes at. I think like it freaks you out, like she's coming at you for a second, and like, wisdom save to see if you're like spooked by this. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It's just low, DC 10. Okay, yeah, you just managed.
I punch her in the face.
He rolls a 10, and he's like, boop, and boops her in the snoot, and then manages to break the gold chain, and then scampers out of Crystallin's room. Did you lock it behind you, or did you leave it unlocked?
Yeah, no, I shut the door behind me. Like it's
okay. All right.
It's done. I'm not gonna deal with that.
Okay. All right. So what are you gonna do? You got these strange green crystals. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, I kind of want to. So these look similar to what Crystalline had, like on him, right? That's what you described.
Accurate.
So I'm gonna like, just run some funky tests on these things because I want to kind of understand them, like what they are, like why is she wearing these same things as Crystalline had? What's their purpose? Are they just like decorations, or are they some kind of communication device or something like that? So yeah, I think he's going to be running some tests to kind of figure out what they do.
Okay, what kind of tests are you gonna pull on this?
Oh man, I've got a couple things I need to try. So how big are these crystals? Are they like
I think like the
size, or
no, it's bigger than that. It's like a cluster of them. I think all together probably roughly the size of a human hand.
Okay, so yeah, I think I take them out of their settings to where it's just the crystals, I guess, themselves, and I'm gonna run some tests on them. First thing, I extract some glowing blue liquid out of Samathi's core, his power source, and first thing I do is I take just like a vial of this glowing blue liquid, and I think I would like drop the crystals in and kind of stir it around and see if there's anything. Another experiment would be setting them in a resonance detection device. Basically, it kind of sees if things are magical. So I would like set them in these like little pylons, and I would set them a certain distance apart, and then I would run energy through it and see if there was any reaction, any harmonics happening. So yeah, fun tests.
Okay. Give me a Tinker's Tools check.
Tinker's Tools. That is a 21.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So you've run through this battery of tests and begin to funnel through these crystals, different energies, different lights, as it kind of splits off into prisms and behaves in strange ways. And you're trying to figure out what this material is, because it doesn't behave exactly like crystal does that you're aware of. You try some different like alchemical reagents that you have on you, and like see how they react to different parts of the crystals, and they seem to kind of sizzle and pop, and then become inert and then sizzle again, and everything is behaving quite strangely. when after you've been over this, and you stay up most of the night working on this, just because it continues to defy your expectation of how a mineral ought to react to different stimulus. And in a moment, I think when you start to use the blue liquid, something happens. And the edges of your vision begin to hum and quiver. Light begins to grow from the middle of the crystals. A small pinpoint at first, a white pinpoint, but it expands quickly and suddenly, and then in a bang that everybody in the ship can hear, Bolster, an explosion goes off within that room of blue and green light. But this moment seems to suspend in time. And before you, these crystals, like your mind, though there's this fear and astonishment from what just happened, time slows and you feel your mind beginning to come to focus. Like this fog you never knew was there is beginning to lift. You feel your sense of reality around you begin to twist and turn. Matter seems to fold in on itself in some sort of kaleidoscopic swirl. You sense the cosmic underpinnings dictating the form and nature of reality. You feel echoes from afar shaking deep inside your bones. And it feels like you're awake for the very first time in your existence. You see possibilities, connections that just moments earlier were unfathomable. And at the very end of this, you hear a voice, a familiar voice, that says in recognition, Bolster? And then nothing. And you know, and you don't know how you know, but you know for a fact that in that moment, whatever was open, whatever aperture had allowed that to happen, snapped shut.
Now come back.
And then time begins to return, and the concussive blast of the explosion suddenly, as you're suspended in air, returns and you smack against the bulkhead and fall dazed. And yes, and you feel very different and in pain and confused and all those things.
As one would.
As one would.
I think I sit up slowly, and I think Bolster says, "Oh."
And again, you all heard that. Everyone else heard the bang that happened.
I run, making sure to lock the hold door behind me.
Hold door.
Vincent would go to the cockpit, make sure, check all the sensors and readings there, make sure we're still on course.
Yeah. So everyone say what they want to do, and then I'll adjudicate.
I'm checking on Gwen first, see if she's okay, and then I'm checking on the body.
Okay.
I'm failing at attempting to run towards the source of the sound. So probably limping down the hallway.
Oh.
Okay, Rosh, you come upon Gwen, and she's limping down the hallway.
I sort of grab her and say, Gwen, no, please, you really need to get back to bed.
You don't tell me what to do, and I keep going.
Oh, right.
And then Pace joins
Just
on
like,
the way.
So
because of the nature of like the vibrations in the ship, I think pinpointing where it came from is probably difficult specifically for you, Pace, because you're the farthest away from it. You can't like pinpoint where it came from. But I guess like since Gwen's closer, she can like guide you there.
I'll
but
just
Vincent,
casually help her walk.
okay. Vincent, you checked the readings. It seems like everything is still on course. There's like a slight fluctuations that are well within parameters that are like safety parameters, but other than that, like it doesn't seem to be there anything worrisome has happened.
Yep. And then I think after that would head towards where I think the sound came from.
Okay, so I think probably because you probably all read at the same time if Pace is going at Gwen's speed and you checked everything. So, yeah. And Rosh, you checked the room as well?
If the body is still there and it hasn't moved, and I don't think that had anything to do with it, that'll go where it is.
Okay. I think with your passive perception, you notice that her crystals are missing, and maybe the body is like slightly like moved from where you last left her. And you notice that her necklace is missing.
Is the door still locked?
It is locked. It was locked. And you, yeah.
All right. I think I can put two and two together. I'm going to run in the direction everybody else is going.
Okay. All right. So we'll play the scene. Everyone, like, Three Stooges get stuck in the door trying to see Bolster. Bolster is probably leaning against the wall, a little bit dazed looking.
I think his fur on his face is like wet because he's been crying.
And I forced my way in.
Wow. All right.
I'm just saying, if we're all stuck there, I'm going in first.
Yeah. Okay. So Pace manages to squeeze in first.
Okay, go ahead, Travis. I interrupted.
No, you're okay. I think Bolster says, "I'm sorry, guys. I think I got a little carried away with an experiment.
Are you all right?
I'm just fine. I think."
Insight check.
I'm like looking at my fur, like what's like, am I okay? Am I burned?
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't need an insight check.
You can if you want to.
No.
Okay.
He's being overt about checking that he's okay. I trust that he's actually okay.
I think, okay, so as you all come upon Bolster and look him over, glowing on his face are these streaks of this kind of crystalline substance that's kind of up his cheeks in this strange pattern that's like going back, splitting his fur and like leading back in like patterns across either side. And his eyes, normally a kind of almond brown, are now like bright green.
Cool. So I say, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And I'm like, "Okay, wait." I'm gonna walk up to him and I'm gonna poke him in the face where one of the lines is.
Hey, what's going on? Why are you doing that?
You have tattoos now. What is this? What did you do?
What?
Yeah, you're glowing, buddy.
Oh, this is a lot, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel everything thinking. I think the crystals did something to me.
I would like to now insight check and see if my friend is crazy.
Okay. Are you a trained psychologist?
No, I just want to know if he's like shaking. Like obviously he has the tear tracks on his face, but like, you know, Fine, never mind. I don't need to insight
I'm
check.
not saying you can't insight. I'm just asking so I can like figure out what the DC is.
Like, in his right mind, you know, like the way you'd see if someone was, I don't know, I guess how someone would act if they were on drugs.
Okay, just roll me insight check, and then I'll figure something out. Okay.
Great. 16 total.
Okay, so you do notice that Bolster he's in a state of kind of shock and bewilderment and astonishment that you've never seen before, but he doesn't appear to be in pain. It's he is talking. You don't understand him, but you don't know what to make of that yet. I mean, he doesn't seem to be, or he does seem to be lucid, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. That's what I was trying to describe. What did you do?
I was checking. I wanted to see if the crystals would react to the energy field that's inside of Samathes, and I think they might have overloaded, or perhaps well, for crying out loud, I don't know. Well, here's the deal. I think I can see more now, like, than I used to. I think I've got. Well, they did something to me, and I don't know if it's permanent or not. But I think I can kind of see the future.
What?
Just I'm gonna shift my psychic focus to precognition.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, do something unexpected.
I'm gonna poke him in the face.
Okay. What does that do? I don't know what that does.
It gives me advantage on initiative rolls. I was hoping to do something where, like, if she tries to do something, then I automatically know.
Okay, yeah, she goes to poke you in your
happening.
face, like you're not even looking at it. You just like put your hand up, and the paw catches the finger.
Okay.
You see what I mean? And there's more. I think I can control it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to sleep on this one. I've got a lot to think about. There's a lot running through my mind right now. I think I might have heard someone from a long time ago. I can't really explain it right now. I'm sorry. This is just a whole heck of a lot. I think I should sleep.
Rush, do you think that he's safe?
Honestly, if everything we've seen in the last 2 days, I have no idea anymore. Do you feel all right, Bolster, physically? Does anything hurt?
I'm just fine, Raj. I got a bit of a headache, but honestly, everything feels a lot clearer now than it was before. In a weird way. I'm not making any sense, guys. I'm so sorry. I gotta sleep on this.
I'm going to check on you in the morning. Sorry, we have a lot of other things going on right now. I'm a bit distracted. You seem fine. Nothing's bleeding. Will you promise me not to go back in the room with the body? I nearly had a heart attack noticing that it had moved.
I'm sorry, buddy. I just couldn't handle myself. I was curious.
We won't be very well off if you keep giving our clerics heart attacks.
You know what they say about curiosity applies to cats, I assume it applies to mice too, so we should probably be careful.
With less lives, too.
Oh, buddy.
If you need anything, let me know. I should probably go check and make sure the prisoners, or whatever we're calling them, are all right.
All right. Yeah, thank you guys for all coming to check on me. It's kind of nice having family around again.
I try and slap him.
Okay.
Just like,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. Go for it. I guess.
So I have to like roll to hit. I just want to see if like he'll stop me again. Like I'm trying to see if this is for Rizzle.
Actually, no. This will be a dex check versus bolster. What's the thing, dude? It's like it increases your initiative, right? Basically.
right, yeah.
So
You could
whatever
play it however you want.
whatever that bonus is, well, we'll just say like it happens like where you try to slap him and bolster just kind of ducks out of the way as your hand goes, your knuckles kind of just brush through air above his head.
Okay. That's
I'm
that's pretty cool though.
It is pretty cool. I'm gonna be thinking about it all night, but
No, you're going to be sleeping.
I
You
should
said
be
you're going
laying
to
down.
sleep. Yes.
I'll sleep. I'll lay down. I'm sorry. Okay. Maybe this will be all gone in the morning, and we can all just go back to normal.
Well, I hope not.
All right.
I'm gonna
Have a
mama.
good night, you guys.
I'm gonna mama bird this and like fluff up his pillow and make sure his bed's all nice and like make sure he's okay.
This
Okay.
is starting to be too much even for me.
Can I get you back to your room now, Dan? Or Gwen?
La, 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 la.
Well,
Who?
I don't know.
Genevieve.
Gwen,
Yes.
escort her back to where she was resting.
As they start leaving, Vincent just kind of says, as they're heading down the hall, eventually the weirdness kind of hits a limit, and then it's just nothing phases you anymore.
Fair enough.
Whisper is like, "What is my purpose?" And you're like, "To serve butter."
Okay. Well, I was about to interject, but Whisper now it seems silly. It's like, yeah, I think I will still do it. Like as you're kind of like walking away from everyone, and it's like, I smell the magic on all of them.
I literally didn't understand what you said in that last bit. I smelled the magic on them.
Yep, that was it. That was it.
I'm going to try thinking back to him because when we were in the room, I was speaking, and so this is checking to see if I can communicate telepathically with it. But just, yeah, I mean, most, if not, well, Rosh and Bolster can do magic. The other ones, not so much. Although maybe what Gwen does is kind of magic. Haven't really talked to her about it.
I will say that like everyone can do magic.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting because there was I got confused because for some reason I thought Lindsay was doing the UA ranger that had no magic for a second. But no, so yes, everyone on the ship is magic. I just am maybe kind of the most magical. But again, that was all thinking in his head. To see if Whisper would hear it and respond.
How did he use it?
How did he use it? Sound like he took something from his flying robot he made, mixed it with some magic crystals, and some nonsense happened. Or at least there was a big boom. Maybe we'll find out in the morning.
It was my purpose to silence wizards, mages, use their gifts without caution, without the restraint, can he be trusted? Or I will silence him.
Well, I don't know how much I can trust any of them right now. You know, that's what voice numero trace said. But, you know, I don't know if we need to go that far yet. But if it comes to that, I'm sure you'll come in handy.
You can't be too careful with magic users.
I know. Most people tend to learn that lesson around me.
And then okay. You do anything else tonight, Vincent?
No, now just going back and actually getting some shut-eye.
Okay. Anyone else? Boop, 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 boop. Everyone getting sleepies?
The only thing I can think of is I have a couple extra spell slots. I'm going to go in Lesser Restoration, the people that need to be lesser restored.
Okay. Excellent.
I go back to the cargo hold. I slam the door open and see if anyone has moved, if they're doing anything, and basically just to freak them out by the sound of the door slamming.
Okay. So one person was going for the restroom and they're like, oh! And then they got freaked out and they run back to where they were going to sleep.
No, it is okay. You can use chamber pot.
I already did. Okay. And that's where that scene ends. And we will rejoin the present timeline on the 8th. It's the following morning. Everyone is rested up. And then this is when the remove curse thing happens.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, what would you like to do?
Well, I guess, is there anything? I do the ritual for the remove curse with Gwen on whenever we have the opportunity, taking little bits of incense and the candles, the prolific use of fire in my any spells that I do, and use that to sort of. There's probably a little bit of an aspect of taking like a scorched or like a piece of charcoal, kind of mostly burnt, probably still a little bit hot, like pressing it to the skin or just sort of burn out the impurities and the curse itself. Probably isn't too pleasant, but I imagine that's sort of how the ritual concludes.
Where is this curse?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
How does that better?
Much. Thank you.
Let me and I'll also do like a first level cure wounds just to see if that actually restores anything and fixed it.
What'd you roll?
I'll roll it. 10 hit points.
Okay, Gwen, you gain no more than 10 hit points.
You're a bad person. Just kidding.
That looks like it worked.
I think so.
Good. Well, I'll leave you to rest unless there's anything else you need.
At some point I would speak with you, but when you have time.
I have time now. We're still a day out from Yuval Station.
That was good math.
Quick maths.
We can talk now if you'd like.
I've just been doing a lot of thinking. More than usual, I suppose.
And?
I ask you something.
Of course.
Feel free not to answer.
You know I will.
I know, but I feel it necessary to give you an out. I guess I've never really asked what sort of god you believe in.
I suppose you haven't asked that. I suppose no one really has, and I think about it. I talk about it enough to think that I mentioned it at some point.
Well, you speak of the light, and we see you set things on fire quite often. But I don't think I've really ever asked. And I'd very much like to know.
Well, it's a bit more complicated than all that. My faith doesn't really pertain to a specific deity. The founders of the edict sought transcendence from the various sun gods that they worshipped. And when they developed the ability to take to the stars, they did so as a divine pilgrimage of sorts. The founder of my faith, referred to as the prophet or Prophet Boral, they believed that the origins of celestial power throughout the universe all came from a single source, that the stars themselves are, in fact, fragments or shards or seeds of celestial energy and divine power. And we worship them as such, as being the givers of the divine, the origin of gods, good gods, that is, ones that uphold the light. It's a bit complicated. It took many years of study for me to wrap my own head around.
It sounds complicated.
It is. But I'm afraid there isn't a simple answer to your question. We worship the light itself.
I suppose you'd find my order's beliefs quite simple then.
I'm sorry I've never asked you much about them.
It's quite complicated.
What does your order practice? Do they have religious beliefs themselves?
Some do. The very small system that the planet on which my order resides is part of a very, very small system, the Titanis system. And the way they tell it, anyway, it was sort of created by gods. It's an interesting place in that it's got two suns at its center, and the short version is that the suns used to be goddesses, sisters of light and goodness and creation and fire and all those things, and one day some very terrible old creatures, titans, evil ones, there's the Frost and the Beast and the Scourge and all of these fun, very, dramatic names, threatened their galaxy, and they were locked in battle with the sister goddesses for a very long time. And the story goes that the sisters ultimately sacrificed themselves, knowing that if they used all their power, against this great evil, they could save everyone. And so they died. And the Titans died with them, and the little spark that was left of their power and their sacrifice is left at the center of our tiny little world as the suns. And what's left of the Titans became the planets. And so we call them the Sister Suns.
Has the edict reached your planet?
No. I've never heard any of what you're telling me until right now.
That's amazing.
It's a good story, I think, especially for a sisterhood, powerful women sacrificing themselves for the sake of their universe, and I used to find it quite empowering, but as of late I just find it sad.
It's inspiring to me that story, because of its similarities to what my faith teaches, all the way millions of miles away from where your system is. We also believe in a fragment of divine energy, of celestial power in each person. And when someone dies and that spark doesn't go out, it is transferred back to the celestial titans themselves, which we refer to as stars, and then once again to a new mortal spirit, where they're reborn in a new body. That story that you're telling, it renews my faith, no small amount, to know that these similar stories sort of string together throughout the cosmos.
It used to make me very happy to tell that story.
Does it not anymore?
It makes me wonder, Rosh, what do you believe happens after you die?
As I said, I believe that if you foster the light and kindle it within yourself, that it can't be easily extinguished, that it might transfer back to where we're born from, and then be reborn somewhere else.
But a potential happiness, warmth, bliss.
I believe that if you live by the light and for the light, that, of course, yes.
The story I told you, I think it used to mean that to me. My sisters and I, we believe that in death we go home, whatever that means, to the Sister Suns to rest. They burn us, so we're cleansed. Our curse, which you've seen, ends with us. Most of us die in battle. The ones that don't, it's not something we're supposed to talk about. For a long, long time, I'd never really had to think about this, but recently, I very seriously had to confront the thought of what might happen to me when I die. I had to think about it yesterday. And the story of the Sister Suns used to bring me a lot of comfort, but now that I'm confronting it, our gods are dead. Gosh. The goddesses became the suns because they died. And I don't know what that means for me going home. And I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you all this except for that 86 years of being Gwendolyn of the Tranquil Mind is sometimes very taxing.
You've had a long week. I think we all have at this point, and you came very close to death. Any person in your position would be rethinking the perspectives of mortality. But you have a priest of the Edict of Cosmic Incandescence among you, and as one of my duties as Light Hallowed is to keep the spark burning in each one of you. So, as long as you have me at your side, you have no reason to fear.
I've found that to be mostly true so far. Except when you open up a giant hole in my room.
We'll try not to do that again.
Can I?
Should... Oh, yes.
It's alright, I'm sharing too much. Can I tell you something that I've never told anyone outside my order?
Of course.
Do you know Gwendolyn is not the name I was born with?
I did not.
We're not supposed to tell our secrets, but I think someone will figure this one out eventually. When you become Divergent Knight, you relinquish all titles, all names, all ties to your former life. And you choose a name of one of the warriors of old and your title. I chose my name, Gwendolyn. I chose a title befitting my style, I guess. There was once I heard this very funny story from one of my sisters. One of the other orders, the Order of the Wing, had 4 Victorias at once.
I imagine that was confusing.
What a nightmare. Right? I don't know, just... It all seems sort of trivial right now. But thank you for letting me tell you that.
I'll let you get some rest. What I'll leave you with, take it as you want. I don't intend to convert anyone aboard this ship. But the phrase that I've lived my life by, the verse I've lived my life by, comes from the second book of the prophet, the Passage of Truth, chapter 7, verse 27. Honesty is as the light. Its purity blinds and burns and ultimately purifies the soul. I appreciate you being honest with me, Gwen.
I think you've taught us all a thing or two. Thank you.
Get some rest. And I will leave you to your business.
Do you go to any business or... Okay. All right. So that's the morning. Does anyone want to do anything else?
Yes. I think Bolster wakes up with a lot of energy. I think he's been having some pretty wild dreams all night. And I think the first thing he does is he sits cross-legged in the middle of his workshop staring at Samathes for a really long time, just in silence. And then he immediately just stands bolt upright and begins just like tearing off pieces of the mech. Just begins like ripping off the outer shell and pulling out the insides, and he completely disassembles it and begins reassembling it in a different way. And it's probably really loud because he's just not even caring. He's just like tearing everything up. Yeah, I think he's going to spend most of his time working on Sam.
Yeah. Excellent. Fantastic. Go ahead and roll me Tinker's Tools.
That's a 22.
It sure is. We'll adjudicate that later. But that's very high. Good job. Is there anything else that anyone else like to do?
Do any of you know how to play Uno?
I don't want to monopolize things, but we also have a body to talk to if people want to go ahead and knock that out of the way.
By the way, also, is Kitty it's not installed yet.
No.
Right?
I think I have literally everything with me in the cargo.
It's all in the cargo bay. Okay, just making sure.
Vincent
Seeing
might
what I
spend-
can chime in with and what I can't chime in with.
I'm just Wreck-It
essentially.
Ralphing over here with the garbage.
Sure.
But Vincent might spend the morning starting to get Kitty installed.
Okay.
I'll help because I'm bored.
How will you help?
I'm very tall.
And strong.
I'm a little
She's
strong.
not that strong.
I'm really
She's
not
stronger
that
than Vincent.
Probably stronger than you. That's true. Okay. Sure. Give me an installation check, please.
And what is that going to be?
I don't know. Let's say it's we'll say it's a wisdom check.
Cool.
Because it's about taking a space that wasn't meant for this item and making it work. Okay, that's okay.
That was a 5.
I think
I'm not gonna Tides of Chaos that one.
yeah. So I'm gonna say that you all, between the two of you, you managed to move Kitty from the cargo area into the mess hall, and then that's about as far as you can get.
Then you got hungry.
Okay, now what?
It's like
It was
it's just
downhill from
you're
there.
not sure where to install it. It doesn't. There's not like an open spot where you're gonna have to like move things around, and you kind of get overwhelmed by the choices there. And yeah.
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna need bolster for this next part.
And if any one of you like knocks on his door, you just hear like booms and cracks and like cling clings and like lots of like and like all sorts of like.
It is better to leave him alone when he's doing this. He is in a, what is the word I'm looking for when you're like on a roll? There we go.
I'm on a roll.
I'm just imagining Bambi being like, "But where is roll?"
How are you on a roll? You're on the ground.
It's like there's no rolls here. Okay, so yeah, so that's what y'all are working on. And is there anything else that anyone else would like to do?
Nope, just on self-imposed guard duty, unless anyone has
Okay.
any need of me.
Did I add something to your sheet? Maybe I did. I added stuff to people's sheets and then I took it away, but I might have left yours there.
I saw something on mine, but I think I
Did-
fixed it. It made it more organized. So
Okay. Let me see what I had, because like if it's still there, then I'll just like let you have it.
Okay, I was just confused. What I just looked in there, I was like, going through my shoes, like what?
I just can't remember what the thing was. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. That's still a thing that you have access to then. Yeah, I think just to further the listening audience, I like to like give little things that I think feel thematically appropriate to characters along the way, like in addition to like their normal leveling process. And I've given like something to Rosh that I was gonna like wait on it and like reveal it before it just like happens, but it's there now, so why not?
Okay. Yeah. Still reveal if you want. Yeah, I saw that. I did not add that to my sheet, and I was confused.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll pretend I didn't see it if you want me to.
No, that's fine. I think you're aware that that's a thing that you can do now. So,
Okay.
Yeah. And like just for the rest of you, I mean, and two of you know this already because you've played with me before. Like I like to like, based on things that you do, I like to give you extra stuff like that kind of like are based on the kind of the decisions that you make, sort of thing. So that's kind of what happens here. So okay. So what are you doing right this moment as a groupie?
Does anyone want to talk to a dead person?
I do.
Yeah,
From,
I'll
like,
listen in.
Like 500
Yeah, I
yards
think
away.
both you hear from like the other room. Both are like, "Oh, I gotta be there for this." Like, comes out of the door all covered with grease.
Well, if everyone else is going.
Both of you look great. High five.
Because I would very much like
Bye-bye.
to.
Whoosh.
I'd very much like to ask these questions, burn the body to ashes, and jettison the ashes off the ship.
We don't have to do that. I can get rid of the body myself.
I don't know. I feel good about that plan.
Are you talking about feeding it to your creatures?
I have one who likes to eat organic matter, okay?
I don't think that's a good idea. It cursed Gwen by touching you. Imagine what it would do to your animals.
But it's dead now. You're probably right. Okay, fine.
We could cook it first. I mean, I'm just saying.
I think Rosh already did with
Yeah.
a fireball.
Yeah.
That's true. It's crispy. It's fine.
Okay.
Feed the body to the prisoners.
To the mandatory guests.
Thanks, Joseph.
Get a rut, chat.
Seriously, I've had days. I've taught a few of them Uno. I think they're losing on purpose to make me happy, but it's fine.
Okay. So is everyone going to see the bidet?
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
Gotta be there.
Okay. So what's everyone like dressed like? Does everyone have like their morning bathrobes on? What time of day is this? Are feeling it's like 10 midday? Like I'm just curious.
I mean, Vincent has his work clothes on, the stuff he wears when he's dealing with glasswork, because he was planning to install Kitty this morning before realizing he doesn't know how to go about it properly.
Sure.
Yeah, it's probably like midday kind of a thing.
Okay.
I was trying to. So, I'm trying to decide because Pace is still trying to intimidate these people. So she might be in full armor and like with like her weapons and stuff. But
Okay.
also, that's not very comfortable. I'm trying to decide.
Okay.
I'll update you.
All right.
If we're going to talk to a dead body, I have my armor on.
Okay.
I had a bad experience with this person last time.
That's true.
I
And
probably
sword.
have on my phone. And that's not me trying to be meta for a possible threat. It's Pace trying to scare these people.
I don't think it's meta. I think it's just prepared at this point, given everything that's happened.
And yeah, Vincent does have a whisper at his hip. But it's just like he swapped out one of the other daggers that he normally carries with whisper.
Love it.
Do I notice this?
I can't. I'm trying to think of like. You have a really high passive perception, but I'm trying to think if that Vincent's dagger would register on your radar, and I can't imagine that it would.
That's fine. I mean, I did give him a dagger that came out of my face.
Oh wait, okay, yeah, that was the context of this. Yeah, I think you'd see it hanging at his waist. Yeah,
Okay,
for
I just
sure.
wanted to notice this. Thank you.
Sorry, you're yes, I forgot that. I
Thanks.
forgot where it came from. Rosh, what about you and Bolster? Those are the two things I need to check off before we continue.
Yeah, I'm gonna be-
Bolster's there.
Okay. In full regalia and everything.
Mhm.
I mean,
Okay.
and grease.
Okay. All right.
Under the effects
Bolster
of the grease.
greased up. All right. So, as Bolster greases up, You open the door. You all come in together.
I mean, one at a time. We can't all fit through the door.
So who goes in first?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm just like it. So Gwen, you go in and you see kind of the crispy ruin of this body, still somewhat terrifying, given what you've experienced in the past, like even in death and like the kind of this rictus pose, you're still a little bit off put by it. At the same time, this is also within your wheelhouse of things to deal with. So you just go in completely on guard at 11 hit points. Is that correct? If you want to say that you short rested, there's been like 3 or 4 hours of mourning. That's also possible too.
Sure.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah.
If you're not full health too, I would have gotten you back up, but
Right? So I'm like, I would not have let her walk around like in this state.
Oh, sorry. You guys try to stop me?
I'm just saying, if I'd known you were still unwell, I would have acted, but it's fine.
I'm kind of banged up.
are you still down?
Oh yeah, I'm at like half health, man.
Oh, shit.
Not even half.
All right, I'm gonna throw 2 more first level
I have 28 hit points.
runes on you.
Okay.
Well, that one's only 6. That one's 10, so another 16.
Okay. So 44?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So as you walk in with 44 hit points, and everyone walks in behind you, Rush?
The ritual requires burning incense, and I want to take that to the next extreme. So I think I just go start taking a bunch of small like filters of incense and placing them around the body on the bed. And so there's a nice like wafting smoke kind of through this room.
Yeah.
And I begin to incite or incant the ritual to bestow the Speak with Dead, which will restore the spirit to this body temporarily.
Okay. So you begin to cast this incantation. Can you cast it too, so I can just like refresh on?
Oh yeah, I clicked it once. I'll click it again.
Where was it up high?
No, it was just.
I see.
But
yeah,
I clicked
it's
it
up a
again.
ways.
Yeah.
All right. So the rest of you witness as Rosh begins to say words in a language you don't understand, moving their hands and kind of hypnotic patterns as this incense begins to fill the room, kind of throwing everything in a sort of haze. And from Rosh, there begins to emanate this sort of blue-colored smoke that begins to waft from the incense and begins to come over the form of the crispy lady before you. And the smoke kind of magically begins to waft over her form and go into her nostrils, and like her body begins to twitch and like kind of shake as this blue smoke begins to pour into her, and then like she rises up from the table, her neck not quite working first, and out of her mouth it's like pouring this like blue smoke out of her mouth and nostrils, and her eyes this dark like this dark blue, kind of rolls loosely as she kind of is aware of the rest of you. And that's where we're going to take a break. And we'll hit this back up after we've peed up and everything. So thank you all for watching. We will be back soon. So yeah. Happy everything, everybody. We'll see you soon.
This is exciting. 10
right.
minutes.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to continue where we left off as the animated body of the creature Rush Firebolt to its doom. Just last session. Seems to come to life, animated by this blue smoke filling it, and it turns towards you loosely.
Ew.
It seems like it
Bolster
worked.
shudders.
Bolster, I'm probably not going to need your help with this.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
Since it worked, we're going to need to communicate with her. And I don't think I speak the same language.
That's just fine. I got you. I'm going to shift my psychic focus to Intellect Fortress. While focused on the discipline, I gain resistance to psychic damage, just in case. And I'm going to say, in her language, A.
All right. I don't think she'll respond unless you ask her a question.
Oh,
You just hear this kind of, you hear a kind of throaty sound as she's on.
I was of a mind to start
And turns towards you.
I was of a mind to start with, who are you?
Hey, who are you? I really like this, guys. This is great.
So, just so everyone in chat knows, the corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer to what they say. So, yeah. So they can. So the players can ask 5 questions, and they're gonna get probably 5 answers of some kind. But just saying, take what you hear with a grain of salt. In Ma'at Kari, she who dances in blood.
To clarify, can any of us understand it besides Bolster?
Narp, although Rosh has the ability to, but I didn't hear them say anything.
No, I actually don't have that prepared right now.
Oh yeah, so Rosh can't either.
So the rest of us are just seeing this
All
creepy
right.
spectacle and hearing gibberish.
I'll translate. I got
It sounds like a beautiful language, but no, not kidding. It sounds harsh and disgusting.
Ew.
Because
She says that she is At Kari, she who dances in blood.
Cute.
What else you got, Rosh?
I'd like to know how she is or was alive or undead. What brought her back?
When we found you at the temple, what brought you back to life?
I was brought back from those left behind. By the way, also chat, I'm allowed to be cryptic. It says it's often cryptic, so that's what I'm playing up here a little bit. And you can talk it out loud too. I don't mind if y'all like discuss this. Like,
Yeah.
don't be afraid about metagaming. I'll just be explicit about it. Like, we'll just assume that Bolster is repeating back exactly what you hear, and you all have a chance to say something about it.
I think that.
So I'm guessing.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you were. Sorry. Well, I think maybe she was our land. Maybe.
That toad man, Burgleplop, he had some connection with this place, yes? The book, I felt like there was some connection. The Arlean runes, the Arlean cults. Am I making that up, or
No, that is true. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do we think that there is some sort of group that still remains active, that this cult, that this toad person belonged to, and has some connection with this woman and the book?
I would like to know that. Also, that Cassian person said he was trying to get the conduits back online. Maybe something they did with that woke her up, because the conduits were connected to her, maybe?
Were the conduits, those were something on the planet before, those weren't...
Yes, the things in the temple. I think the conduits were the not crystallums, the gold stallums.
Okay. So do we want to ask her... Does anybody have any ideas for questions? I'm running thin, other than just asking her if she's familiar with the dark book made of human flesh.
What's it like being dead? No, I'm just kidding. Don't ask that. I know already. Okay, anyway.
Perhaps we should bring the book in the canister into the room.
I do not want to do that. Very strongly, I do not.
That sounds like a horrible idea.
I
That
do
was
not
very
think
much
it's
in
the
favor.
wisest course of action. Should we ask about the crystals?
We need to do it. We have to do it. Did you guys see Ryan dancing?
I
just
did.
A second
Dance
ago?
fighting. It was like capoeira over there.
Yeah. I metagame as a DM all the time. Like,
I want
all the
this now.
This
we
is
have
part
to
of
do
the
this
metagame.
now.
Does anyone have the ability to create like an illusion, to create something that looks like the book and demonstrate to her?
Oh, buddy.
No.
Should we ask about the crystals?
Why? And yes, my bolster is glowing. Yeah, David, that is okay.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one.
I high five
So,
Gwen.
What about what
should
was the purpose of her temple? Because that's sort of all-encompassing, talking about the conduits and the crystals and...
I'd also like to know about Arlean Gates. So she is Arlean and, like, old. She seems pretty old. I'd like to know this.
So
we want to know what she knows about the book. Something about Arlean history and something about why Bolster is glowy now, based on the crystals.
Yes.
Okay.
Crystals, yes.
Unless, of course, Bolster, you already know.
Yes.
I don't usually like to pry, but...
I'd like to know a little bit more about it myself. Yeah, let's,
he seems impatient. Also, this only lasts 10 minutes, so we should probably try to keep it going as quickly as possible.
Growling or
Yeah.
snoring?
So why did the Arleans build this temple here? What were the Arleans doing on this planet?
The purpose of the temple.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to get to most of the questions we're trying to answer.
Sure.
Bolster?
Oh, sorry. Hey, what was the purpose of the temple?
It was to stand sentinel at the schism.
feel like the follow-up question there is, what the hell is the schism?
I feel like she's doing this on purpose.
I don't know.
Wouldn't
I mean,
you?
she could be lying to us.
Yes.
Oh, is the girl that you murdered doing something on purpose? No, I'm just kidding.
She tried to murder me on purpose.
So here's the thing. I want to follow this thread, but honestly, let's just be real honest here. I would like to know about this book. We don't know anything about it right now, other than it's trying to kill us. We have 2 questions left, right?
Why don't we go ahead and ask about the book?
Ask her how many questions you have left.
Why don't we go ahead and ask about the book and see if there are any follow-up questions to that. If there's nothing else we need there, then we go ahead and ask about what this schism is you referred to.
But what about the crystals?
Yeah, I want to know what's going on with me too.
I mean, that's up to you. I can't... We could do it again in 10 days, but I don't want to keep her body on the ship for that long, honestly.
Plus, I imagine there is other stuff we could do with the crystals. And this is hypothetical, but I imagine they were just the sorts of crystals that power the Warforged that were with those particular gold Warforged we left behind. Now, I don't know what caused them to react the way they did with you, but we may be able to get answers there elsewhere.
Counterpoint, it's also possible that the schism is a historical event that someone else would know something about.
And now that we know the term, we can find it out ourselves.
The way she referred to it, at the schism, as if it's a landmark or some sort of physical point.
Well, I did not like Gargan. It was not very good, so I would not be surprised if it is the home of a place that sounds as bad as the schism.
Let's go ahead and ask about the book, though. I think we all agree on that.
Yes.
Okay.
So do we wheel this thing in? I
think the best way is just to describe it, to say that if she is... Yes.
Pace, couldn't you read the book or understand something about it? Did I dream that?
No, you did not dream that. The language was familiar to me, but I could not read it. It was very confusing. The script
that was a long time ago.
That, yes.
The like alphabet was familiar, but it did not make words that made sense to me.
Never mind.
Maybe just ask if she's familiar with a dark book of necromancy that steals the life of those that touch it.
And turns into an octopus.
And
is perhaps written in the script of Pace, whatever language it is your people speak.
Well, I mean, I know the name of it in my language. It would not mean much to anybody else.
It's just asking her if she's familiar with it going to get us any answers that we want.
What does she know about?
Let's not ask yes or no questions.
She's like, yes.
What do you know about a book of dark necromancy made of human flesh that's black and steals the life of people that touch it and turns into octopuses?
I repeat that to her.
I would like to hear you repeat that to her. I want it. The wording matters.
Lady, what do you know?
Okay, you win, lady. All right, no, all right, sorry.
Hi, lady.
Hi, lady. All right, continue.
What do you know about a dark book of necromancy that's made out of like human skin and black, and when you touch it, it like steals your life away and turns into like a terrifying creature? What do you know about that?
You think it's human skin? So...
Oh, okay.
You found my book. The book
All right.
of Volhai. Was made from the old ones. to guide through the beyond.
She takes long pauses. I'm trying to decide if she's done with that thought.
I'm done, thank you.
That word that you
Wow.
just translated for us, full high, she said that before.
Bolster told me
Yeah.
in the temple.
So maybe Volhai is one of the great old ones. That's what I'm thinking.
That's something I could bring to my temple if that's where we're going next, and ask them if they know anything about it. But do we want to ask her about this full high, or do we want to ask her about the schism, or do we want to ask her about crystals? We have
What
one-
about gates?
Or about the Alayan gates?
Pace.
Yes?
Did Pace ever tell us about? Did
Nope.
Pace ever tell us about the gate?
And that's the problem now, is I don't know what gates you're talking about.
Well, because Rosh read a book that mentioned Arlane gates, and Pace was like, I'm sorry, what was that? And Rosh was like, I said gates. And she was like, okay. And that was it. And I think she's only told Rosh that a door opened up in heaven and sucked her people away.
Mm-hmm.
Hence.
Pace, do you
Well,
think this...
we could.
What?
Go ahead, Rosh.
Do you think this question about the gates is more important than finding out what she knows about this Volhai?
What is Volhai again?
We don't know, but she's
What?
referred to it twice, and it has a connection to this book and whatever organization she belongs to.
I'm gonna roll for selfishness really quick. Well, I mean, it is more important to me.
Does anybody have any thoughts on this?
I always trust Pace's instinct.
Why? Lindsay wants to know why.
Literally why?
Well, Pace, why do you need
Because
to know
she's
about the
good.
gates so bad?
It. Because
All right,
I'm
so-
looking... Wait, sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say real quick, it's probably been like 6 minutes right now.
Yeah.
So like,
So pick up
In-
the.
so
Pace.
if you're gonna like recap everybody on it, just know that there's a ticking time clock, like not bomb, but necessarily, but clock.
So, ever since Rosh read the portion of the book about Arlean cults and it had the gates in it, I've been interested in them. Because when I died, a door or a gate apparently was opened up in heaven and took all of my people away. So that is why.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
As horrifying as that
I didn't
sounds,
Well, not your god, but
as horrifying as that sounds, Pace, and as important as I know that is to you, if we found it in one book, we can probably find it in another.
And I'll make the point, there's no guarantee she knows anything about that.
I know.
And there's a guarantee she knows more about this Volhai if she's an acolyte of them or of some sort.
Or if she'll even say. But ask whatever you all think is best to ask. We know I'm not the best with people, dead or alive.
It's ultimately up to Bolster because you're the one asking the questions here, but I think we should ask who Volhai is.
Or what?
Or what Volhai.
Or where?
What do you know about Volhai?
Hey, so you mentioned this Volhai earlier. What do you know about Volhai?
I think her head slowly turns towards you, Bolster. Like in that weird kind of roll, as like you hear neck bones cracking and like crispy as she kind of turns towards you. Her eyes glowing this, one's dark blue that begins to kind of pale as it focuses straight on you.
Bull is the blood god. Was given power by him. I don't fear death.
And as she says that, centered in her chest, as Cooper's whining at the door, but like this blue smoke that has been kind of pouring out slowly from her mouth as she's talking, a kind of golden light begins to grow in her chest. Softly at first, it's to grow, and then in the patterns of her veins and her nervous system, a gold light begins to travel along each of her limbs and up her throat towards her mouth, and the blue smoke begins to flood with this yellow light, making this sickly green fume begin to fill the room.
I use Psychic Hammer and smash her against the floor.
Okay. All right. I will say that she just fails it right now because based on stuff. So go ahead and roll the saving throw failure.
All right.
Or click the thing, which should be 2d6. Yeah.
And 10 force damage.
Okay. So she begins to like lurch forward and like reach out to you, and Bolster, instinctively you just kind of like reach out with your mind, grab her, and then like pull her off the bed and slam her down into the iron, like the metallic floors, and just the rest of her body as she like splats against the floor, and this golden light just winks out, and this green smoke dissipates and the blue smoke slowly begins to evaporate in the room as her body is like half caved in and like splayed out on the floor now.
That was weird.
Okay. I'm sorry if I messed anything up. I thought she was gonna try and kill us.
Wait, that was you? You just did that?
Oh yeah. I did just do that.
You did, and that was you?
You gained an impressive reaction time.
I don't know what's going on, guys. I think it's the crystals.
High five! That was awesome!
Ping! It's like your metal arm.
Yeah.
I still gotta fix that for you. I should work on that after I put Sam back together. Yeah, I did just do that. I guess I got a lot to learn. Well, I think I'm gonna clean all this up since I made a big mess.
Well, it won't take that long, and I'll just start prestidigitating, a square foot at a time or whatever.
So are we going to burn this, or can I take it? Ugh, fine.
Oh, is Sean talking that a while?
I tried to tell you.
No, I said, Gwen, help. All I said was, no, Gwen, help me with the body if you could.
Sure, yeah.
And I wanted to start taking it to an airlock.
Okay.
What a waste of resources.
You gather the body.
It's a zombie!
Bring it to the airlock.
Well, is there a safe place? I assumed that the airlock might be the safest place to start a fire on the ship, given that it's exiting capabilities. But
I mean, yeah, in that, yeah.
Okay, so I want to take it to the airlock, set it on fire, and once it's burned down enough, hit the big red button I assume is there that jettisons it out the side of the ship.
It's blue, but yes.
Okay, fine. I paint it red, and then
there you go. And there's this like handprint of where the red paint came off onto you, and it's still revealing the blue. No, I'm kidding. And then so this like smoking body. I don't know. Is everyone watching this?
Nah.
Okay. So the people who are watching this just see kind of smoking kind of. The whole room begins to fill with smoke as you kind of see like this dull glow from the fire as the rest of her form burns. And then Rosh slams on the button and then like instantly, because y'all are traveling at faster than light speed right now, it's just like immediate, and it's as if there's nothing there. And the whole ship shakes as the door comes open, as the like aerodynamics aren't really a thing, but like as the balance of the ship's mass changes, the whole ship shakes violently, and then it could like slowly kind of is with all these natural like inertial dampeners, like begins to kind of like reorient itself and continues its travel.
Well done.
I don't think she'll be back.
Let's hope not.
Is it just me and Rosh and Bolster right now?
And Vincent.
Never mind.
Well, fine, I'll leave then.
Oh, the shade.
Just kidding. I'm gonna say it anyway. I changed my mind.
We can all say like, well, I mean, Vincent, you can say no to this, but like, when the whole ship started shaking, we could say that you ran off to like make sure that everything was fine.
I'm gonna go say that.
Like, so do you want Vincent to not be there for this scene?
No,
Does
either
that
way.
make it a little stronger?
Either way, it's okay.
If it makes the scene stronger, then yes.
I don't know.
Okay.
Vincent's gone.
We'll say Vincent is gone. If I feel like I want to bring him back in, I'll just like have him come back.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. We're just playing. We're playing fun. Playing fun games.
Fun
right.
games.
Go for it.
Yeah, this is so fun. Can I ask you two a question? Perfectly within your rights not to answer, if it's none of my business. Has Pace talked to either of you about what happened when she died?
Yes.
Not really.
Well, I figured if she was
Wait,
gonna
she
talk
told
to...
you, Rosh?
I figured if she was going to talk to anyone, it would be Rosh.
People talk to me about things occasionally.
I don't know why. You don't keep secrets very well.
I don't know why either. Yes, we spoke about it. If you have questions regarding it, I would say you should speak to her.
I'm not asking you to tell me what she told you. I just want to know that she talked to someone.
She did. She seems okay about it, as okay as somebody who's been through that can be.
I worry that I quite hurt her feelings. In telling her not to ask about the gates.
I think it was the smart decision, given that what we were dealing with, but we'll find more answers for her.
We need to really make an honest effort to learn more about this, though. Because honestly, it is kind of scary.
I agree.
Which is why I think we need to, as soon as possible, head to Chamachamandia.
You think your people would know something?
I think at that point, Vincent is done with the controls and begins to make his way back down the hallway.
And as he approaches, we all get real quiet and go,
Just
kidding.
I know we're heading to Yuval.
Yep. We gotta offload our guests. Maybe do a little bit more stocking up.
How soon can we depart?
Well, after, because we redid how we're doing fuel and stuff. DM.
Yeah. So, you can depart, like, as soon as you arrive. Basically, you could, like, offload everything and leave in the exact same day. Like, because we got rid of all that other stuff.
Okay. We could head out right away, but, I mean, might be... We'll probably spend, at least a few hours at the very least on the station. I suppose we could.
I have no problem with that. I'm hoping we can leave as soon as possible. Unless anybody has any objections to it, I would like to begin heading towards my temple. I think we have a lot of questions. We need to deal with this book. Pace wants to know more about these gates. I want to know more about this Vol High.
I want to fix my friend.
Yes, that too. We have a lot of things that we need, and I don't know any better place for it than with my people. I don't want to rush anybody.
Your people have a lot of information about a lot of things, right?
They've collected a great deal. We share it freely. I read as many books as I could in our archives when I was there, but even I couldn't read all of it.
That sounds like my kind of place. Yeah, let's go.
I'll go tell Pace where we're headed.
That's all I know.
All right.
I was going to walk towards my solarium, but I guess I'll go somewhere else and meditate.
Well, according to my notes,
You can meditate in my room.
You can meditate in Pace's room. It's not a mess, and there's like nothing there. It's basically an empty.
Rosh is staying in Pace's room. Pace is sleeping with the animals.
Med bay is open.
Well,
And the med bay is open currently, yeah. Someone can sleep in the med bay.
I'll go back to posting up in there.
Okay, so after I walked away when everyone was going to burn the thing, I walked back to the cargo hold, slammed the door open.
Oh, I was gonna pee again.
And I just I closed the door, sit down. So we reanimated the dead thing, interrogated it, burned it to pieces, and threw it out of an airlock. What have you done today? I want to see who looks the most frightened or like put off by this.
What? Okay, inside check.
Eight.
All of them
Great.
are quite put off and or frightened and or confused and or need to go to the bathroom
but I keep interrupting. Huh.
You can't even there. Well, there's no bathroom in this storage.
There's a chamber pot.
Did you have a chamber pot in there?
I mean, I said it earlier.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear it. Okay, fair enough. So 6 people. It's been a day. All right, it's probably not totally full yet. Okay.
I have a thing. I have a place I can. I know where I can dispose of. It's fine. So seeing
She's
this,
got animals.
yeah,
She does have it.
I have a particular
Ah.
beastie that eats organic matter. Anyway, seeing them all frightened, I'll pause and stare at them with my freaky lizard eyes.
Okay.
I'll take a few steps forward, and then, I don't know, just for flavor, like Captain flies over to me, so I have also this giant bird leaning over my shoulder. And then it's been a few days. I've been working on them, and I'm going to say, do you work for Ocelot?
Several of them. There's most of them. I should make you do insight again,
I
but
can.
yeah, we'll do that again.
Okay. Don't suck. 21!
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, that was intense.
Yes. 5 of them, kind of, are just like in fear and like looking around, but one of them is like looks down momentarily, and then looks back up at you. Like,
Which one is it? Is it the engineer? Which one was it?
it was the was it? Did you talk to one earlier?
Someone did and
I
told me.
can't remember.
Bolster or Vincent, somebody talked to them and was like, hey, this one.
Yeah, hold on. I got those notes.
Thank you.
Let's see. So there were... So I listed that there were 2 research assistants, 1 biologist, 1 security officer, 1 physicist. And I think I missed 1 other person. And you mentioned that 2 of them were kind of hedging around Ocelot, but most of them seem to have no clue about Ocelot.
Yeah. This one, she only like notices like 1. Did you remember which one you talked to? Just so I'm like consistent. If not, I'll just pick one of them. It's fine.
I think it was either the physicist or the biologist.
I think it was the physicist.
That sounds about right.
Okay.
I
Yep.
don't know.
Yep. I think it was. I have it
Okay.
right here. Okay,
So that
cool.
one, when she looks back up at me, it's a her. Is it a her?
It is.
Okay. I stare at her. Just gonna wait several long seconds to see if she says anything.
She does not.
I'm going to attempt to grab her and drag her toward the enclosures.
Okay. Go for it.
What do I roll? Athletics? Or am I just doing it?
Roll me a strength check. She's gonna roll at
I
disadvantage.
never get to use athletics.
Well, because it's for athletic things.
16 total?
It's probably gonna work because she's just a normal human being, and she has disadvantage, so she rolls a 4.
Whew, that was close. Okay, so I drag her toward the one with the cave amoeba,
Uh huh.
and I open it,
Okay.
and I let her get a good look at it,
Okay.
and I'm just, this thing
She's like,
does not save, it only eats. You have seen me and my friends save. So tell me what you know, why you work for Ocelot, or I will let you be eat instead of save.
look, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just doing research on our land ruins. I don't. It doesn't really matter where the money comes from.
Why does Ocelot care about our land ruins?
I can't. I don't know. I don't know what they want. I'm just doing. I've been studying this my entire life, and this is the only thing I could find to like has any funding behind it, please back me up. Please back me up. I don't know what to say. We didn't know anything. I'm just doing what I can.
Okay, I don't know if I need to roll insight if she's like hedging, but I'm pretty sure threat of death usually makes people tell the truth, but can I insight to make sure?
Sure.
Okay, great.
Not one you throw her in there.
14?
She seems to be scared and just spouting off. It's, I don't know how often you've been in a situation where you've been intimidating people in this sort of manner.
Probably very rarely.
So if very rarely, I think you're still not sure if it's truthful or not. But you do know that at least for right this moment, she really, really means it.
Did Ocelot find you? Did you find Ocelot? How did you come to work for them?
They got me straight out of university.
Okay. I pull her out, I close the door. Probably just a couple of feet in front of the cave amoeba.
Just like snot streaming down her face as she's like crying and dry heaving and yeah, she's messed up.
I feel bad, but I just shove it down into the cold, empty space of my heart where my people would be. Thank you. I'm sorry you work for such bad people.
I think in that moment, as you do this thing, the place in your chest where Constance placed this thing on you feels colder, number, more distant.
I'll just let her go. And I'll just leave. Just leave the hold. And I leave Captain here. And I'm just gonna go find an empty place in the ship to hide in.
Oh, there's an empty place.
In my heart.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I need to roll stealth, but I'm going to go and literally try and hide somewhere.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, roll stealth. If you really don't want to be found by anybody.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, because I went to find you.
Have fun.
All right. So you rolled a 16.
Yep.
Do you want to use magic to help you?
No.
All right. Anyone looking for pace will have to beat a 16 with an investigation check, I'll say. So, but other than that, is there anything else anyone wants to do for today? Gwen, you're...
I was looking for pace, but I don't find her.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 1,
Oh, that's
which
right.
is a
You
6.
did roll a 1. Which is the 6. There's no
Pretty good.
critical failures and skill checks,
I'm
but
pretty good at investigating.
yeah. Okay. So,
Probably spending the afternoon. Well, just gonna say getting Kitty installed because that should happen sooner rather than later for everyone's sakes.
all right. Who's working on that?
Vincent and help.
Okay. And you're working on Samathes, is that accurate?
Samathes, yeah, gotta get
Okay.
him back
Rosh,
up and running.
Rosh, what are you doing?
I was going to meditate and I was going to meditate for the rest of the afternoon. Unless if Vince needs me, I'll go come help him. But
No, that's fine. Okay, cool. Roll me a just roll me a gosh, what's the right check? We'll do another wisdom check. Because you don't really, unless you can your glass blowing tools don't really help you out here. Do you have any other tools at your disposal?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, we'll just do a.
You can always borrow some of Bolster's stuff if you need it.
Although a help will help you out, so yeah, you can have advantage on this.
And help has tools.
Help has lots of tools.
That is a 19.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, between the two of you, you managed to get Kitty mostly into place. You haven't hooked up the power source quite yet, haven't integrated that in, so Kitty is still in sleep mode. But you did manage to get the armature like into a place. So you had to move several cabinets aside. This in part of the kitchen, it cuts in the middle of it. You try to find a place where Kitty could still have like access of the whole mess hall, like from like this fulcrum, basically. That the armature is operating off of. So it took you a little bit of a lot of time to like figure out the best place to install it. But now that you have done that, it should be just maybe like one more day of like hooking up all like the appropriate power sources and that sort of thing, integrating it into the ship systems. So well done. Okay, so night begins to approach. Sorry, did someone say something? No?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so Gwendolyn, can you roll me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Sure, boss.
Thanks.
11.
Okay. So the artificial lights of the Arcturus are like set onto this kind of universal cycle of like day and night. And like when it comes close to night, the lights begin to dim and grow softer and softer. And as night falls and everyone kind of finishes up their tasks and makes their way like to their rooms, Gwen, unbidden, and with friends' kind of soft voice in your mind, being wordlessly expressing shock and apprehension, you lose control of yourself and turn within your room and begin to rage and tear all of your belongings apart. The rest of you hear this clamor as like her bed is where it's like you slam your bed against the wall and it like smashes into pieces and you like rake your claws. It gets in, you hear this like everyone else hears this grinding screech as her claws like rake against and like tear into it. I'll let you all have a reaction at this point because if you were asleep, you're awake now because you all sleep near her. And if you don't want to do anything,
yeah, immediately start heading that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think Bolster would immediately jump into Samathes if I was able to finish him, and bust out the door.
Oh, you're gonna open the door?
Yes.
Okay. That's cool.
Case hesitates, probably several seconds, and then comes out of hiding to go find out what's going on.
Okay. So, Bolster, as you go to the door and you open it up, I'm gonna need Gwen. I need you to roll me some things. Can you roll me a couple attack rolls? Your claw attacks.
Okay.
At advantage.
Oh no. How many?
2. Just 2 for now.
Okay.
Am I there to see this yet?
That I didn't hear where you said you were, but
Vincent would have been heading out. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to do enough to make those not hit anyway.
okay.
I rolled a 23 and a 25.
Okay.
Those are good hits.
Yep.
Okay. So can you roll me the damage on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
13.
And can you also roll me 4d6?
That's 16 total, if that matters.
Well, 16 plus.
13.
Okay, so 29. Is my math garbage or?
Yep.
All right. So Bolster, as you throw open the door to see what's going on, this monster leaps out and begins to tear into you, throwing you back against the wall. You clamber into it, taking 29 points of slashing damage as everyone else is also coming into this hallway. Gwen is like kind of slavering at the mouth, like this dark drool beginning to drop from her, and her claws extended, glistening in the pale light. We're gonna play a little bit loose with initiative, but I think Rosh was the first person to say something. Then I might go Vince next, and then Pace. Bolster, I think you're gonna be the last because like what just happened, and you might have to because you're winded and stuff. So
That makes sense.
So a little bit off initiative, but we're gonna do in that order. So Rosh.
Okay.
So she is at the door, just tore into Bolster.
Yeah.
I'd like to, if possible, just shield up, rush to try to interpose myself between her and Bolster to try to just keep her in the room, or at least try to keep her in that doorway and begin to try to push her back into the room.
Okay.
If possible.
Yeah, sure.
Knowing that she is 10 times stronger than me. But
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you just push up against her claws as they scrape against your shield, and you just hold as strongly as you can in between you and Bolster.
Yeah. And just as a little added, I'm going to just bonus action Shield of Faith on myself, give myself just a little bit extra going up against this monster here, and just kind of yelling at her to say, Gwen, calm down.
Okay. All right. I forget who I said was second. Was it Ven or Base? Is Ven? Okay.
Yep. So I am going to attempt to cast Reduce on Gwen. And I am also going to use a heightened spell on it so that she is doing it at disadvantage.
Okay. All right. Sounds awesome. What's the saving throw on that?
That's going to be a 16 Constitution save.
Okay. So roll me Constitution save at disadvantage. And if you have advantage on con save, well, you shouldn't. But
I do not. That's a 17 with disadvantage.
okay. So
I am going to bend luck and make her roll 1d4 and subtract that.
oh, that's super cool. Oh, and it's 1 though. It's exactly 1. Is that wait?
Yeah. So
I want to go on the one that Vince rolled because it's
yeah.
because it was there first.
You roll first, Wayne.
Yep.
So, all right. So, just for the viewer audience, so he bent Gwendolyn's luck down a 1, which meets. But with these things, that means she saves because she matches the saving throw. So it doesn't work.
All my sorcery points in one thing. Yeah.
Okay. So I think Gwen, you are in the back seat with friend as your body takes this magic and just kind of breaks it like with sheer will. You see your vision begin to turn blood red as you look over your friends. That's going to bring us to Pace.
I'm assuming I'm just running up to this, seeing Bolster kind of staggering back, all bloody, Rosh trying to hold the line, and Vincent trying to do his thing. Is there any room or ability for me to close the door?
You would have to push her back in. She's kind of half out at this moment. You could try to slice her in half with the shutting the door.
Well, that sounds not great. Not ideal.
I'm just explaining the options.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tell you what to do.
Oh gosh, there's not a lot I can do. With my sick hops, with my mad hops, I'm just gonna jump in to her room. Make myself the easier target. I'm just gonna like swan dive over Rosh into the room.
Gosh, you're gonna need an acrobatics for that because like there's such a small gap.
I don't know how tall these doors are.
You're bigger than every gap.
That's so true.
But I don't. This is gonna be real difficult. I'm gonna set this at like, before you roll this, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you to acrobatics dive into the gap in the room to try to draw in the room. It's gonna be at least an 18 acrobatics for you to pull this off.
Okay, can I just go in?
Well, you have a raging werewolf lady like guarding the door.
Yeah.
So like you can't just walk in either.
Okay, so I'm just okay. My logic is split between like 5e mechanics. I can go through an ally space, so I should be able to get past Rosh, but I can't get past Gwen.
Yeah. Let's go a little bit off DD and get more into like just like how this will work. Yeah. She's like filling the entire, for the most part, she's filling most of the door frame. You would have to like get like real like to like sneak in behind her to get into the door. But let me offer some other options. There are other rooms in this hallway. If you want to like go into another room and try to lure her in that way, that's like options open to you. Or you want to go
still
like
have to get past Rosh and possibly go through Bolster and Vin.
She would.
Okay, so
I will push Rosh out of the way.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and get in front of Rosh and just do whatever the opposite of a dodge is.
I'm not letting her go and move me out of
this.
Excuse me. Here. So I don't know if we have to do a contested check.
Let's do contested athletics. Now you get to roll athletics.
Oh, good.
All right. Well, she's probably gonna win because my athletics is shit.
Prob's not. I've been rolling real bad.
Well, you also don't know that this is gonna come from this angle, Rosh.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like.
That's a natural one.
Whew.
So I think as you have this stance that is completely based on like the angle of Gwen being right in front of you, and your feet are planted in a way that like lets you withstand that assault, which puts you at a disadvantage for the angle that you're not expecting as Pace shoves you to the side. You stumble. You don't fall over, but you stumble and kind of get pitched over a little bit, a couple feet to the right, as Pace interposes herself where you were.
So, is there any space between Rosh, myself, and Gwen? Like, can I close the door at this point?
She is still halfway.
Like, she's in the doorway. Not like on her side of the door, but like out of the doorway.
She's out, like half in, half out. Yes.
Okay. I will just do whatever the opposite of dodge is. Like, I just want to take all of the hits.
The opposite of dodge is like attack.
But I mean, like, opposite of giving disadvantage. Like, I'm on a self-destructive tear right now.
Okay, so you basically just like exposing your throat, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Pace is lit, like literally. Just.
Okay. All right,
full
good
on
to know.
Self-destructive right now.
Cool. Let's go to Bolster, who his blood is like kind of slipping on the wall as he kind of is picking himself up as there's a bunch of clamor out as people like stomping down the hallway in front of him. Bolster, what do you do?
Bolster, I had mentioned that I had climbed into Samathi's before I left the room.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
And what I didn't
But we'll
get
say
to
like
say
same
actually
phase there
was
somewhere. Go for it.
yeah. So basically, the plan was for Bolster to redirect the attack using his feet because he's got the rider feet. I can't remember what that is, but he's able to redirect an attack at his mount to himself.
Okay.
So Bolster actually took that hit, and then Samathes, Bolster inside of Samathes goes, all right, Sam, let's try this out. Transform mode. Bejewel. And he, Sam changes. Sam, his wings kind of fold up in front of himself. 4 spinning discs emerge in a wide stance, and the air begins to ripple beneath him. And he seems to just hover barely off the ground. The nose of the mech kind of spins slightly and kind of folds out into a shield.
Mm-hmm.
And Bolster is going to, with Sam, attempt to push Gwen back into the room. So yeah, that's my plan. So would I roll with Samathes, like a strength check or something?
Wait, what were you trying to do with Samathes exactly? Like with the strength check?
I'm trying to use Samathes to push Gwen back into the room.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a strength check. Contested.
All right.
I know Gwen's not very good at those when she's in hybrid form.
I get advantage.
I know.
Please be bad.
I did roll a 20.
Click.
Not natural.
I rolled an 18.
Oh, thank goodness with the Gwen curse of rolling with advantage. Yeah, so in your wolf form, you see Samathes begin to whir and change and shape and click in place, and these engines fire off as they burst into you, kind of knocking Pace out of the way as it comes kind of from behind you. Pace, you go down to a knee as it kind of like hits your shoulder, and then it slams into Gwen. You press up against it with like, you feel your body like resisting, but like these jets push up against you, sliding you back on your feet. Your claws that have on your feet have burst through your boots if you're wearing boots, like, and like scratching into the ground and getting pulled back. And then right as you pass the threshold of the door, someone hits the button for the door, like close the door, and it shuts, and then you hear roaring on the other side. And do the 4 of you do anything right now? The non-Gwens of you do anything for right this moment?
I give Bolster the healing potion that I have on my person for some reason.
Oh, thanks, partner. But
Okay.
let's wait on it just for a second.
I
Gwen,
think you should have it now.
Sorry. Gwen, roll me a wisdom saving throw again.
22.
Okay. And as you're in the dark of your room once again, as you kind of feel in the back seat of it all, you manage to use, just by sheer force of will, with friend with you, like figuratively holding hands, you pull forward as with all your effort and take back control of your body. And your breathing begins to slow, like the hair begins to like pull back in. Your fangs begin to slowly retract, and you slowly return to your natural form. And the rest of you hear that the clamor inside begins to subside after like 30, 40 seconds or so.
I push
guys
the
start
potion into
knocking on the
Bolster's
door.
hand. Fucking drink this!
I put my hand on Bolster
Alright,
and
just
give
a
him
minute.
19 hit points. With
All
cure.
right. I'll take that too.
Drink this!
I'm getting there.
Do something.
Do something!
All right.
All
I'm
right,
good. I'm good. I'm good.
So, Gwen, as you reassert control, is there anything that you want to do right now?
I stay in the room. And thinking about what I think this means. I think for the first time in about 80 years, I start to cry. I think I just sit on the floor.
Kim? I think Pace and Rosh's passive perception can hear that. Actually, let me roll it. Let me see. Because, like, some people... Yeah, the two of you.
With Whisper, I have advantage on hearing.
Oh, yeah, you do! Yep, you would as well.
So fancy.
You would as well. Thank you for reminding me. I'll have to add that to this macro.
I open the door.
I leave.
You just
I just
walk away?
I just walk away.
Vincent watches her go, but doesn't make any move to stop her.
Bolster goes after Pace.
Okay, so we're gonna we'll do Rosh, Gwen, Ven first.
I don't really say anything. I just walk in and sort of kneel down next to her.
Ven, do you need anything?
He's gonna move into the doorway, but not get closer than that. Just kind of say, if that was anything like what it's like for the rest of y'all when stuff happens around me, I certainly don't blame you for this. I'm guessing that wasn't really you, Gwen, not per se. Glass houses throwing stones, all that. Don't be too hard on yourself, because if you're too hard on yourself, it doesn't matter what the rest of us think. You're going to be your own harshest judge, and that's no way to live.
No offense, Vincent, but I don't think you really understand.
Maybe not entirely, but I've been living my whole life with having no control of what happens around me. And I get that you're used to being in control. And we are in different situations, and I'm just saying I get a bit of what's going on.
He's been quite a lovely picture of self-love.
It's the only way I'm still alive.
I'm afraid I won't be for much longer.
Care to elaborate?
Rosh has taught me a lot about honesty over the past few months. And there's all these order secrets and things that I don't much care about right now. Most of us die in battle. Those that don't live long enough to see the curse that we take on, this monster inside me, this transformation, whatever you want to call it, The ones that don't die in battle, they live long enough to see it start to take over. And when it does, it's the imperative of the Order that they turn themselves in after saying their goodbyes to be put down.
Well, that's pretty heavy, but... And I don't know about the rest of your order, but to heck with that. Gonna find some way to... We're in a big old universe. Someone out there has to be able to do something about this. And maybe your order hasn't looked for an answer yet because they're sticking with what they know and what works. And maybe they've gotten too used to that and need to think outside the box.
I took this on knowing that was a consequence. But I also heard a voice. That was not mine. And that was not friend.
I may know a little bit about some of those too. Care to share?
I don't know. He called me mongrel and told me how dare I draw from it and squander it and to let it show me where my strength comes from. And I don't know if that's just the curse coming to call. But to be honest, I thought I'd live quite a bit longer than this.
And you will still. Yeah, that sounds like one of the nasty voices. I got one of them bouncing around up in here. But the other ones, they're mostly okay. And so you just gotta learn that it's something else. It's not you. It's another voice. And you can tell the voices to shut up. Learn to shut them down, ignore them. They're just a voice. All they can do is talk at you.
I just want you to be prepared for the possibility, however slim it might be, that it's not anything evil and that it's just what happens to me.
Do you think Flump's appearing out of midair and he's accidentally sucking the life force out of y'all is evil? Believe me, I know about things that just happen. I am prepared for anything and everything. So.
I take it Pace and Bolster don't want to speak to me.
I didn't ask. I
don't think you had to. If they don't want to speak to me, I would like you to tell them, and Vincent, even if you refuse to tell them, I know that Rosh will, because it's impossible for him to lie. For them to lie. If they want me to go, I will go.
I can pass along the message, but I'm trying to think if Vincent would have had any idea of. Yeah, he probably would have no clue about why Pace is acting that way. No, he's proficient in insight. Could passive insight have picked up on anything that she was doing?
I'll let Pace answer that.
I mean, it's probably pretty obvious that she was, like, she literally, ran in and not to, didn't draw her bow, didn't draw anything to fight with. It was just like, eh?
Yep. So,
before you go on, let's try Vincent, just roll an insight and see what.
Cool.
We'll see what you roll first before Lindsay tries to explain it.
I'm gonna Tides of Chaos it just because we almost got through a whole episode without me doing it, and it needs to happen. So, giving myself advantage. That was a 14, but maybe this will be better. That is better. That's a non-natural 20.
Okay. So you're feel free to adjudicate it however you want to, Lindsay. If you need help, you can talk to me.
Man. Can I whisper it to him?
To him? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah,
I will
I'm okay
do
with
that presently.
Okay. Okay. Gosh. I want to switch to the scene between you and Bolster right now, but if you're just type quickly if you can.
Yep.
Clackety clack clack
Well,
clackety clack.
based
clack,
on
clack.
what I observed while all that was happening, and I don't know how much you rightly recall when you get like that, but in my estimation, I believe the Pace, at the very least, was acting all like...
Russell, you've been very quiet this whole time.
I think you would notice that Rush kneeling next to you, it just sort of has a contemplative look on their face. Their hair is sort of gone from that vibrant orange to sort of a little bit darker red. And I just say, let's get through the next few days. There's a lot of influence on this ship that may be contributing to this, but no, if this is what you think it is, I'll escort you there myself.
Okay, got the whisper.
And I start cleaning up her room.
So,
Aw.
Thank
Gwen,
you.
I don't know how much you were able to notice or remember, but
I
when
usually
Pace,
remember everything.
well, when Pace came in and put herself right in front of you, it seemed kind of like she was being reckless. She didn't draw her weapons. She was. It seemed. She certainly wasn't upset, or she certainly didn't want to hurt you, and so I don't imagine that would translate to her wanting you gone. She did wait to see that you were okay before she ran off, but
I don't know, Vincent. Reckless pace is not completely out of the ordinary for us.
yes, but what is ordinary for us? I open up holes in people's rooms and try and fix the furniture, which looks like I may need to have another go at that again.
You don't have to fix it.
Yeah, but you need a place to sleep. And look, I know that things suck right now, and there's nothing I can say to fix that. But as Rosh said, just get through the next few days. At the very least, if we were to take you back and turn you over to your order, which we're not going to do, that'd take a few days, so give yourself at least a little bit of time to think about things.
All right. Thank you for what you said.
Well, words are what I'm good at. Not good at a heck of a lot else, based on the way you shrugged off that spell I tried to cast on you. Teeny tiny Gwen would have been kind of adorable.
I think it was rather a close one. Thank you both. You do a lot for me. And Pace and Bolster too. I must speak to them at some point.
Sure, they'll come around, but Bolster went to go check on Pace, so I wonder what they're getting up to right now.
Which we'll have to resolve in 2 weeks.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
Yay, more conversations.
More conversations. Thank you all so much for watching and
Thank you
hanging
for
out with us.
tuning into the Wildspace Drama Hour.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll pick this back up in 2 weeks. But the very next thing you need to be aware of is like this coming Saturday. There's gonna be another Survivors Complex, so swing on it at 5:30 Eastern, and get in on the action at the ground level where you earn the most dividends. Okay, anyway, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. So goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.